This has been a bittersweet day for a Fargo woman. It's the first time in a month that she got to hold her newborn after battling serious health issues. Valley News Team's Courtney Lockie has her emotional story.
Today is my 10th day of being isolated, so after today, I no longer have to be.
The last month has been a bit of an emotional roller coaster for Kristen Hauschild. She's a healthcare worker in Fargo. She's also a brand new mom battling preeclampsia and COVID-19.
I actually struggled with her being in the NICU more than me having this because I just hated having to leave her each day.
Hauschild was hospitalized 3 separate times before having baby Eva at 34 weeks. After 15 days with baby in the NICU, she finally got to bring Eva home. Shortly after, Hauschild became sick. With the newborn at home, she wasn't taking any chances.
They actually tested me the next morning, so Monday morning, and then I found out the results Tuesday morning, so it was pretty quick. But I was kind of surprised that it was positive. I was hoping I was just overreacting. And once we finally got home, I'm like, oh, this is great. I don't mind social distancing. It can just be the 4 of us. And then when I get that positive result, I'm like, seriously, what else?
Loss of taste and smell, a fever, and a sore throat.
The symptoms were definitely different. The worst part, I would say, was the fatigue.
As a healthcare worker, Hauschild knew the risk.
That was the most concerning part, just not knowing what symptoms I was going to get, how severe it would get. It just took a toll on my body.
Still, she says she can't wait for the clock to strike midnight, and she gets to hold baby Eva for the first time in an entire month. In Fargo, Courtney Lockie, Valley News Live.
Hauschild says her entire family was tested for the virus. They're awaiting for those results, but she says her family is feeling healthy. The Minnesota Department of Health is confirming a significant climb in cases today, with the total now exceeding 8,500. 728 more cases were reported today alone, bringing the total to 8,579. 30 more deaths were also reported. The death toll now stands at 485. 391 of them lived in a nursing home or an assisted living facility. 5,005 people are listed as being recovered. Meanwhile, in North Dakota, health officials are confirming 57 new cases of COVID-19, along with 6 additional deaths across the state. Cass County has the highest number of confirmed cases, totaling 686. Grand Forks County is the second highest with 271. The death toll stands at 31. Of that number, 17 people have died directly from the virus. 2 people died with the virus, but that's not what killed them, and 12 deaths are under investigation. The total virus count stands at 2,154. 582 people have recovered. The effort to fight COVID-19 is stepping up here in the Red River Valley. North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum, along with local leaders, announcing today the creation of the new Red River COVID-19 Task Force. Valley News Team's Alexander Kay explains what this means for people living on both sides of the state line.
While the fight against COVID-19 continues statewide, Cass County has the highest number of positive cases. In order to address this concentration of coronavirus, Governor Doug Burgum, alongside local leaders, announced on Wednesday the Red River COVID-19 Task Force.
We just realized we got to really work on our numbers to get it contained and to get the numbers down. So we're trying to reopen businesses and we don't want it to go up.
The group will work on prevention measures such as testing, contact tracing, and support for isolation and quarantine. It is a partnership between Fargo, West Fargo, the state of North Dakota, and Clay County.
We have about 30 to 40,000 people that come into the community every day to work. We have people from Minnesota, Richland County, north of us, south of us, Detroit Lakes, and what happens is you have a big mix of people. So we have to find out who's getting it, who's got it, and then track it down and contain it.
Mahoney says the task force is putting resources on both sides of the river.
There'll be some funding, and also they're going to do some things that we help to take care of people. If they have to be quarantined, don't have a job, need some money, there's a variety of different tasks that we're looking to help people out.
Many who got tested at the Fargo Dome on Sunday are still awaiting results. Mahoney says Governor Burgum has added capacity to the state lab, and those glitches shouldn't happen again. In Fargo, Alexandra Kay, Valley News Live.
The Red River COVID-19 Task Force is going to meet on Friday. They expect to have a plan out by Monday. North Dakota will allow graduation ceremonies to be held in school buildings. School facilities have been closed since March 16th in response to the pandemic. The change will allow school districts to hold ceremonies for their 2020 graduates if they choose to do so. Strict safety guidelines must be maintained to prevent the spread of COVID-19, including 6 feet of space between rows of chairs, as well as between the chairs themselves. Decisions on where, when, and if the ceremonies will be held will remain in the hands of local school boards and administrators. Grand Forks Parks districts will be reopening playgrounds next week, and they're going to have a tentative plan for how they will reopen in the summer. Phase 1 would restrict group sizes of 10 or less people and require 6-foot social distancing. Phase 2 would restrict group sizes of 50 or less people with social distancing, and Phase 3 would restrict large events. Now, this plan was created in line with Governor Burgum's Smart Restart plan. Phase 1 will start by disinfecting the playgrounds over the weekend and reopening the playgrounds next week. Congress has fixed a funding flaw that gave smaller airports, including some in North Dakota, more money than larger ones. The money is part of a $2.2 trillion stimulus bill. Fargo's Hector International Airport is getting nearly $22 million. Executive Director Sean Doberstein says there's been a 95% decline in passengers. Flights have also gone down from 22 to 25 a day to 3 to 5 a day. He says the federal funding will go toward daily operating expenses and make up for the money lost due to the pandemic.
Traditional revenue sources for the operational expenses are, like I say, the parking lot and car rental revenue, and that's almost near zero right now.
Before Congress fixed the funding issue, Devils Lake Regional Airport was set to get $17 million. If you need a mask, tomorrow might be the day to get one. A Fargo woman was giving them out today and was doing so, got quite a bit of a response. She hung them on a fence with a note saying, "Take what you need." Katie Lewis has been sewing masks for weeks and decided to hang up the extras along the fence along 52nd Avenue South between 25th Street and University. The 60 masks were quickly taken by those who needed them. Some people left cash to thank Lewis for her effort. She says she can't believe the masks went so quickly. Again, she plans on putting more masks out tomorrow. The White House press secretary said masks are recommended but not required for the American public during the pandemic. The press secretary today also said the idea everyone has to be tested is nonsensical.
The notion that everyone needs to be tested is just simply nonsensical. The people who need to be tested are vulnerable populations. That's why Dr. Birx has repeatedly emphasized we need to surge nursing homes with the testing, meat processing facilities. That's where the testing is needed. We have to be strategic.
Secretary McEnany also spoke on the attempt by a House subcommittee to get Anthony Fauci to testify, calling it a publicity stunt. There's breaking news to report right now. Police are called to 415 3rd Avenue South in Moorhead. It happened just before 10 o'clock tonight. Someone called to report a gun being fired at this address. There's an apartment building at that address. It is east of Woodlawn Park. We have a crew on the scene, so stick with Valley News Live for more information.
All right, beautiful day. We got to see some sunshine and the 60s returned. Even though we were below average, those low 60s were magnificent. Carrington, 64 there, 59 today in Roseau, and in Waskish, 59 as well. Hey, did you see the moonrise? We captured it on our new Home of Economy camera out in the Grand Forks area as it rose in the western sky tonight. It was beautiful, along with that sunset or sunrise we showed you earlier. And now, take a look at this photo captured by Doris. What a beautiful and magnificent shot this was. You can almost see the cheese on the inside of the moon. Here is a look at your current conditions as we head into the evening hours. It's very quiet, the wind non-existent, and we have temperatures that are in the 50s still in Fargo. But notice just to our north, these blues, 20s up there in Gillum, and it's going to be a chilly night for some. Here's a look at your currents at Hector, 51 degrees, only a 5-mile-per-hour wind at this hour. Elsewhere, 51 Jamestown, 45 in Bemidji, Thief River Falls at 44, and Roseau already at 39. it's going to be frigid. Here's the details. Overnight, we'll see clear skies, light winds, and we'll have temperatures below freezing along Highway 2 and points north. That means frost. That means chilly conditions out there. So if you did happen to get some new plants in there outside, you may want to cover them up. Down in the Southern Valley, I'm expecting 35 to 40 degrees for most of us. Now, going through the first half of the day, we'll see a few clouds in our southern counties, but the breezes will be out of the north, and they're going to really be there throughout the day. So that's going to usher in Canadian air. Temperatures are going to struggle, and it will be a cooler day on your Thursday. And not only that, the afternoon and early evening winds are going to be robust. I expect wind speeds 25 to 35 miles per hour across the valley. Heading into your evening, it looks chilly once again. So today, beautiful weather. Tomorrow, much cooler. Highs near 50 degrees for most. Mid 40s along the international border and breezy to boot. At least it looks dry. These two here practicing some swimming technique there as mom is showing the baby there how to take care of business. Ron, thanks for your upload in Fergus Falls. Hey, cool weather to close out the work week continues on Friday. In fact, even cooler, still breezy in the forecast. Saturday, we got to talk about this for a second. Let me highlight that weekend forecast. First and foremost, models don't agree on the timing of our weather wiggle that'll be wobbling through the valley. A chance for rain and even snow, if it happens to be during the overnight hours, would not surprise me at all. Any accumulation? I don't think much, but certainly a little slap in the face there with Mother's Day morning temperatures in those low to mid 30s out there. Pretty frigid out there for Mother's Day, but it looks quiet, although cool into early next week as well. Mike, all in all, dry, spring-like, and a little on the cool side.
All right. Thanks so much, Hutch. Being unemployed doesn't necessarily mean you can get benefit money. Still ahead tonight on Valley News Live 10 at 10. We're going to look